Hi, this is Andy Nathan, and I went on my blog today. I'm thinking, what the heck should I write? So you know what? I went on Facebook and I said, zippity doo dah, zippity yay. I have no clue what I should blog about today. Anyone have something they want to learn about in online marketing? Ooh, that's poor grammar. I will create a blog post around that question. So Danny Levy, who's a client of mine, he actually said, yeah, I want to know what would be the best Facebook ad message that would draw the most people to click on your ad, which is a great question. I'm going to do this video around that topic. I'm going to use something that I'm actually have to create an ad campaign for soon anyways, which is eMarketing Experience. And for those of you who don't know, eMarketing Experience is the new program I'm setting up to help business owners learn how to use their online marketing to better improve what they're doing with their business. Really cool concept. How do we market this effectively? Well, I'm glad you asked. When we look at Facebook ads, we're looking at three major components. First, we need to work backwards. Start with your target market in mind. When you actually are working on Facebook ads, it's important how that message impacts your target market. Danny, you're working with jewelry clients. If you start telling them, hey, look, I would like to talk to you about how this jewelry got cracked. Would you like to learn more? That's probably not going to encourage them to want to talk to you. When you say, hey, I have an elegant, custom designed diamond ring, would you like to take a look? That's more their speed. The point is that you want to start with your target market. You want to understand exactly what they're looking for. You have to know more about them. You have to know what they want to hear. So once you get that, you could actually start understanding how to work the ad. The next thing you want to do is you want to have a message. And you don't want to have one message. You want to have many messages. Use split testing. When I'm doing an ad, I want to have at least 3 messages, because I know 1 or 2 of them is going to be a complete bomb. Because of that, I want to make sure that I have the right message in there. And I'm going to split test. And don't stop split testing. This is the key to Facebook advertising. It's not about having that one perfect message. It's about finding the message that works. Because the message that works today might not work tomorrow. Final thing that you have to remember is you want to have a custom landing page. You want to have a place for them to go, especially when you're doing Facebook ads. When they want you to drive it to the timeline, never do that. That's just wasting your money. You have to have a call to action. You have to have one singular thing that you want them to do on your page. When they get there, this is what they need to do. And then when they do that, this is what they need to do. You're leading them on a lead generation path. And that's the beauty of this. Let's begin. Based on those criteria, this is what I'm doing. And I started setting up an ad so you guys could take a look at it. I try to do a lot of it beforehand so you guys don't have to be bored by having me fumble through what works and what doesn't. Because a lot of this is just finesse and you fool around with stuff and you see what works and what doesn't. Because that's what really creates a great Facebook ad. The true secret comes out midway through. Dun, 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 dun. The point is that you want to actually have a landing page. So this landing page here, it's for eMarketing Experience. Now, there's a few problems with the landing page that I created, and sometimes you're going to have that with Facebook. First of all, my call to action is below the fold. I hate when I do that, and I didn't mean to do that, but I set this up so quickly I didn't really play around with this. I have a nice custom banner, but it needs to be a little bit smaller because it's too thick, and you can't see the video, and then you can't see the email sign-up form next to it. You want us going into the ad. And for those of you who've never created an ad, all you need to do is go to the ad manager if you have it here, or just go facebook.com/ads. Ooh, that's a wicked cool picture. When you go to create the ad, here's what it'll start looking like. Create an ad that's going to go to eMarketing Experience. What do I want people to do? Well, I have an advanced here because I'm doing cost per click. They want people to say, hey, do you want more page likes or do you want to promote a page post? So that's to engage with people who are currently in your network. I want to get more page likes, but I want to make this advanced because I have some other ideas about how to make it better. This is part of optimizing the ad. We go down here, take a look at the ad. Very simple. You have a headline, which you can't control because it goes straight over to it's the name of the fan page. And then I have my message. Now, I have 3 messages that I wrote here. One is, you're on Facebook for business. Now what? We have the answer. Second one, do you enjoy spinning your wheels with internet marketing? I'm assuming people don't. That's why I wrote that. Third, stop playing Farmville and learn how to build a fan page that drives your business. I'm using the first one here, and this first one's targeted towards Generation X and baby boomers who own their own business, because I know that that's a very strong target market of mine. And notice how the landing view is not the timeline or the photos, but it's the join button. I also do have my image here from before, but I want to change this image. I have better images than that. And the image I'm looking for is 3, 5, 6, 7. Here it is. This is from Fotolia. So the image is, oh yeah, it's free. Doesn't look too good right now, so I might have to clean this up a little bit because that just... Okay, that looks like bad. Woo! Okay, we'll clean that up later. It's supposed to say, oh yeah, it's free, but it looks like it's free. So that doesn't work. We'll change that later, but the point is it's a much better image than what I had in there before. What do I want people to do? I want people to like my pages. I could do the stories about pages where you have people who like the page. Now this works great if you have a lot of fans already and you're looking to increase upon that fan base. If you don't have people who are liking your page already, because this is a new fan page, you could skip this part for right now. But later on, just keep that in mind. Now, where's your target market? This is going back to the demographics like we talked about. I want people in the US who are over the age of 30. I prefer for them to graduate from college, and I want them to be married or engaged. Now, and I want them to also own their own small business. These are pretty specific things. Why do I want people over the age of 35? Well, I'm looking for Gen Xers and baby boomers, because those are the people who are going to be more likely to need my services long term. Additionally, I want small business owners because most consumers don't really buy social media services. And then the final thing is, why do I want them to be married or engaged? Because while this is not 100% true, in some cases does indicate more stability. And that's exactly why I want them to be married or engaged, because then they actually have a good grasp on what's going on and they're stable and they can sit there and they can grow their business. So that's my theory there. You go through here, I'm targeting my market. I have a good idea of what's going on. And then when I go down here to campaign and budget, I set it at $1 a day because that's the minimum. I really don't want to start running this, so the moment it actually starts running, I'm going to pause it because I'm not really ready to launch yet. But when I am, I could set this at $1. I could set this at $1,000 per day. Not doing that 1,000, making sure that's deleted before I even start. And then run my campaign continuously starting today. If I want to actually just double check, I don't, I do this, but I also like to make sure that nothing happens and I don't forget about stuff. So I'm going to just have this set for the 10th, and I'll have it go all the way to the 3rd of December. And I have it set for $1 per day. I could always change that later on, and then I have it set at cost per 1,000 impressions. Now, a lot of people want to do cost per click because they want to pay for results. They want the clicks, which makes sense. However, Facebook doesn't make sense. My cost per 1,000 impressions is 10 cents per 1,000 impressions. So for 10,000 impressions per day, an impression is an eyeball. Think of, when I mean 2 eyeballs actually, because most people have 2 of them. When you have 2 eyeballs looking at a screen and you see an ad, let's go over here. See this? All these sponsored ads over here on the right hand side, like score a great deal. Kindle made me $7,163 in, and that's a Warrior form ad. Interesting. And then you take a look at those ads. Those are impressions. I'm 1 impression for all those people right now. Why is that important? Well, it's 10,000 impressions. If you can't get 1 click to go through to your site in 10,000 impressions, you're probably doing something wrong. I've used AdFly, and AdFly is the absolute lowest quality marketing in the world in terms of cost per impression advertising. Even with that, out of 5,000 impressions, I was still able to get 10 subscribers. You really need to look at that as every 2,000 impressions, can you get 1 person to sign up? Well, that means the cost per click is 20 cents. Great. Well, what would it normally be if you just did cost per click? Oh, good. It's only $4.25 per click. Well, that's what they want. But the good news is the range is between $2.90 and $8.47. There's a bit of a significant difference. Even if you really mess up, you still have a minimum of 29,000 impressions before you actually have to break even with the cost per click. I'm going to do 10 cents. I could always go up to 89 cents, or I could do more. I like to start low. Hey, why should I pay more if I don't have to? If they say, hey, look, you need to spend 40 cents, that's fine. Even with the 40 cents per thousand impressions, I'm not going to hit the same as the cost per click until I get to maybe 5,000 impressions or 6,000 impressions. There's no real loss there. But for right now, I'm going to do 10 cents per 1,000 impressions. I'm going to go review ad because I want to see what the ad looks like. Always good to know what it looks like. And it says e-marketing experience. Oh, you could actually almost read it here. It says, oh yeah, I'm free. But I still need to make that larger because that picture looks ridiculously bad. And it says, now what? Well, we have the answer. There you go. The ad name, e-marketing experience ad, and since I'm going to have different versions, I'm going to have this ad 1. And then I'm going to go place order. And I go continue. And voila! It is placed. And I now have an ad that will start on November 10th, assuming that they approve my ad because it's in pending review. So that is how, and that's also another good reason why I should have 3 ads, not 1, because generally Facebook will kick out 1 ad. So that's how you set it up. That's it. Danny, I hope you learned how to create the optimum ad.